it's me, Sarah. I talked in my last video about doing a high-end version of using makeup that OG YouTubers made me want to buy. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get into it. The first, well, so this isn't high-end. However, I've been trying to use more eyeshadow primer, and I've been using this Milani one a lot. And I feel like I have noticed a difference in the amount of creasing I'm having. So I'm gonna start with the eyeshadow primer. It's not high-end. When I think of high-end eyeshadow primers that I used to always hear people talking about, I would think of the NARS one. And then, oh gosh, the primer potion. Is it Urban Decay or Too Faced? I think it was Urban Decay had their primer potion. But I never got those because I was never really an eyeshadow primer person, and it's only been kind of a newer thing for me that I have to use an eyeshadow primer because I never dealt with creasing until now. So I think unpopular opinion, I tend to set it with a powder. So I'm just gonna do that. I don't have an eyeshadow or a powder. I always think of, oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Laura Mercier. Oh my gosh, why was that so difficult for me to think of? Laura Mercier is really the one I think of when I think of like original setting powders. Oh man, Beauty Baker. I haven't seen them around in a while. Too Faced, I remember, had one that I would always see people using. I don't really see the Too Faced loose setting powder anymore. Has it been discontinued? I don't know. So there were several palettes I thought of. The first one that comes to mind is ABH Modern Renaissance. I also thought of the Urban Decay Original Naked palette, but I wanted to do something with some fun colors, so I thought the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette is a fun one that I always saw people, I saw it for years on YouTube, and then it was on the Ulta sale like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, not super long ago. So like years into me being obsessed with YouTube makeup and being influenced by YouTube makeup, and I finally got it. So I am gonna start with, I'll probably start with this Candy Peach, this peachy color right here. Put that in the crease. Ooh, that's loud. Now I've had mine for a while and it still has that peachy smell. I have the Chocolate Soleil bronzer too, and that one, it is essentially just straight orange on my cheeks. But I still like using it for the nostalgia of it. But when I'll use that one and blend it into my cheeks, when the powder goes into my eyes, it definitely has that sweet chocolatey taste. That even, you know, I've had that one for quite a few years also. I got it when I was pregnant with my 3-year-old, and that one still has that sweet chocolatey taste, which I'm probably getting poisoned with that this many years later with it going into my mouth. Okay, now I will go into, I'm probably gonna go into this Charmed I'm Sure color. It's like a cool tone, it's like a cool toned taupey. I did not clean my brushes, so there may be a hint of purple on this. Just try to deepen up the outer corner a little bit. I said outer corner, but I'm gonna end up just putting it everywhere. I put that first peachy color. All right, and then I love this purpley color, so I'm gonna go in with Delectable. I have a thing for purples because I'm wearing a purple hoodie. All right, I'm gonna go back in with that first peachy color and then also a little bit of Georgia, just to try and blend everything together. All right, so I always go for the same shimmers in this palette. I'm probably gonna go for a little bit of Cobbler and a little bit of Luscious, these two top ones. I'll do Luscious kind of more towards the more of my inner corner, and then Cobbler kind of middle. Just try to tap them both together. Okie doke. Quick and easy. So concealer. Always go to Tarte Shape Tape. It's got tons of coverage. It is the first concealer I remember seeing people using on YouTube and thinking that's way better than the Almay one that I used for years. But then I realized how expensive it was and I refused to buy it. Now I always get it because it's always on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. So whenever I do buy it, I just always get it then during that sale. I used way too much. A little bit of this goes a very long way. I don't make a huge deal about the outer corner of my eye when I'm blending it because I usually just use my concealer to clean up the edges. One side always does better than the other. I can remember seeing people using this in like 4 shades lighter than their complexion, and they would do those big fat triangles of concealer all down their face. And I mean, you couldn't see a hint of their actual skin underneath all the concealer they were using. It was fantastic. So like I said, I don't have any like Laura Mercier. I have Huda upstairs, and I don't know if that's quite OG YouTube. So I'm just gonna use my Kosas Cloud Set powder, and I have it in the shade Airy. Because again, I never used to have to set my under eyes, but now everything, because I'm older, everything gets super creasy in my under eyes now. I'm gonna go back in with the peach palette and then go back into that first candied peach color and just do a little bit of this under my eye. And then I'll use a mix of Charmed, I'm Sure, and Delectable. And just do a little bit of that in my outer corner. And I just made a giant mess. That's great. Christ averted. So I feel like when I get to this point in my makeup, it's always like, that's a little much, but I feel like it's very much a trust the process. So next I'll go in with bronzer. I always think of the Hoola Benefit bronzers. It's this is honestly the first piece of high-end makeup that I bought because I was, and this is from, what's 8 years ago? Oh, that's awful. But I've used it and I've actually bought 2 more of the Cheek Parade palettes subsequently. So I have another palette that has Hoola Light and then Hoola, and then another one with Hoola and then some blushes. And then when they came out with, oh gosh, what's that super blinding highlight? Cookie? Yeah, when they came out with Cookie. Now, when I think of blushes from that time, I would think of the Benefit Box blushes, and then I would also think of like NARS Orgasm. I never loved Orgasm. It was too like peachy for me, and I tend to go for more like pinky peachy or pinky purpley colors. So I have the color Sin, and it's a lovely pinky purple with a hint of a sheen, like a gold sheeny shift to it, which I thought would go well with the purple from that Too Faced palette. All right, highlighter. This one was all over the place. I didn't have any of the like Becca Opal. I didn't have any of the Ofra highlighters. Those are the ones that I always saw a lot of, but then Champagne Pop was huge, huge. And again, this was another one that was in the Ulta sale. It doesn't really go with the pinkiness in my eyeshadow, but for nostalgia's sake, I figured I would try this one. So Champagne Pop, it's a little too peachy for me. So I don't use it super often, but I bought it just because I think this was right before Becca closed and I wanted to have it just simply for nostalgia's sake. So there's that. MAC Fix Plus to set my face. Uh-oh, I closed it. And I forgot a fan. Now eyebrows, I'm just gonna kind of speed through this. I never really bought the ABH really are the big ones, and Benefit are the 2 eyebrow pencils that I think of from when I first started watching YouTube. Drugstore wise, I would see like the NYX Micro Fine. I don't really have any of those. I've kind of gotten back on a pencil kick. And so I've honestly just been using this e.l.f. one and I've been loving it, but I didn't want to go buy an ABH pencil just for this because I've had samples and I haven't always been like, you know, it was nice, but I'm not a super well-versed eyebrow doer. So this works perfectly well for me and it's a fraction of the cost. So I'm just gonna fly through doing my eyebrows with my e.l.f. Micro Ultra Precise. All right, I'm going to highlight my inner corner using probably just white peach, honestly, and a little bit of Bellini. All right. Mascara. Again, I think of like Too Faced Better Than Sex. Gosh, what were some of the other big big ones back then? All the Benefit ones. Benefit They're Real, Benefit Roller Lash, which I really like Benefit Roller Lash. It's not my favorite. I used to love it, and anytime it was on sale, I would grab it. It wasn't, it's not my absolute favorite now. There's certainly ones that I like better that are not as expensive, even from Sephora. So my honest favorite from, I want to say this has been around for a long time. I can remember Kathleen Lights posting about the Thrive Cosmetics tubing mascara, the liquid lash extensions, for years. It was on her, I always watch, I was obsessed with Kathleen Lights. I still watch all of her videos. But she always, this was on multiple years. I want to say it was even on her most recent yearly wrap up. I don't know if she did one this year technically. It may have been later. Anyway, it's been on a lot of hers. So this one it's so good, especially, it's a great mascara anyway, but when you also think about the fact that it's a tubing mascara, it gives length, it gives volume, and it doesn't give you raccoon eyes. So it is the best. All right. That is, did I have to dip back? I don't think I had to dip back in. This stuff is fantastic. Now, lip products. I don't have a high-end lip product. Like lip liner. Buxom lip glosses, though. These are White Russian, Buxom White Russian, and then, what's the NARS one? The super, super pale, oh gosh, that's gonna drive me bananas. But there was that super light pink NARS one that I bought a Revlon version of. Yeah, that one was really pretty. I had White Russian, it got old, so I threw it away. And then I bought, so my camera ran out of storage. I used this Sophia Buxom lip gloss. I got it in a gift set from Ulta. I had White Russian, and I'm just gonna put a little bit more on. I had White Russian, and then I ended up, it got old, so I threw it away. But I still have this one, and I am actually gonna go put this in my purse because I forgot how pretty this is. It's super, sorry, my neighbors. I'm easily distracted. It lasts a long time. It's sticky. I mean, if you turn your hair or like there's a breeze, your hair is going to stick to your lips. But it lasts a long time and it looks super shiny. It says it's plumping, but it's just, it feels kind of minty. It doesn't hurt. I hate plumping lip glosses. I don't like the ones that legitimately hurt. There's that new L'Oreal lip oil. I don't like it because it just burns. But this one is wonderful. So anyway, that is all the makeup that I have accumulated over the years, thanks to being influenced from YouTube. Let me know what products you still have or what products you've bought that you've gotten from seeing YouTube videos. I'm always intrigued to see what other people get influenced by and what they've gotten. So anyway, like, subscribe, and I'm probably gonna do another video. I say I don't want to overconsume. The Sephora sale just happened, and I hoard all of my purchases once the Sephora sale ends, which I cut myself off. It's still going on, but I cut myself off. I'm not buying anything else. But I will start building up my cart for the one in the fall, or I guess it'll technically be around the holidays because I have them twice a year. So I'll start building my cart up for that, for the next one. But I bought quite a bit of stuff that I'm excited to try. So anyway, I will see you soon, and thanks for watching.